In this video, I'll tell you how you can pay less taxes on your investments in Denmark. You can do this and do it legally with something called Aktiesparekonto, which are a new type of account. In these accounts, Aktiesparekonto, you only pay 17% in taxes, and you can use the account to buy stocks, to buy ETFs, to buy bonds and other financial instruments. Specifically, what we will look into this video is how you can open one of these investment accounts yourself, what are all the rules and regulations you should be aware of, and what are the catches, because it's Denmark after all, so there are some catches. If you're new here, my name is Mario, and on this channel I help experts in Denmark learn all they need to know about investing in Denmark, be it in a house or be it in the stock market and so on. If you like this type of content and you like ultra actionable strategies and tactics, make sure you click subscribe below and you'll get connected for the next videos. There are 5 things you should know about Aktiesparekonto. The first one is that there's a limit on how much money you can add. So if you open an Aktiesparekonto, the maximum capital you can add in is 102,300 Danish kroner. You can't add more money than that. And at the end of the day, this is not a lot of money, but the purpose of this program is to incentivize a lot of people who have never started investing, especially younger people, to open an investment account. And if you are just starting out, 100,000 can be a lot of money. But just to give a bit of perspective, these Aktiesparekontos only started in 2019. That's when the program first started. And back then the limit was just 50,000 kroner. As of 2021, it's again, as I said, 102,000. But as of 2022, the ambition is that these Aktiesparekontos will have a limit raised up to 200,000. One thing to note as well is that this is the amount of money you can put in. So this is the amount of capital you can put as a starting point. But then, for example, if you invest your 100,000 and then that raises in just 1 year to 200,000 because you made a lot of good investment decisions, imagine, you can still keep that money in the account and then that keeps compounding. It's just that the starting capital can't be more than this limit as I just mentioned. Second, there are 2 major differences in terms of taxation between Aktiesparekonto and normal investment accounts. The first one is that in normal investment accounts you have 2 steps of taxation. In Aktiesparekonto you have just 1. In the normal investment accounts you get taxed at 27% for the first 50,000 or so Danish kroner that realized, and then you get taxed at 42% for everything on top of that. In the Aktiesparekonto, it's just 70% overall for everything. So just a simplified tax code. The second difference is that in normal investment accounts, you only get taxed for your stocks and ETFs and most instruments, but not all instruments, but for most instruments, you only get taxed when you sell. In the Aktiesparekonto, you will get taxed every year, regardless of whether you sell or not. So in your normal investment accounts, let's say you bought Tesla shares a few years ago and now it went up like 6-7x. You will still not pay taxes until you say, okay, I'm selling these shares. In the Aktiesparekonto, if your shares went up, let's say 100%, you'll still have to pay. At the end of the year, you'll get a bill from Skat saying, okay, you need to pay the 70% from your investment gains. Third, so how do Aktiesparekonto compare in terms of returns then versus normal investment accounts, taking these rules and these limits into consideration? So I found this little table online, and as you can see here, for the first year, there are not major differences. So yeah, you get a saving of 1,700 krona, assuming you maxed out to 200,000 when that happens or that's allowed next year. But as you move further ahead and that money keeps compounding, you see that in 5 years you are 10,000, almost 11,000 better off. And as you move further into the future, this compounds and compounds and compounds. Number 4 is how you then open an Aktiesparekonto. And this is simple. If you have a Danish bank account, you can open an Aktiesparekonto. If you have a CPR number, you can open an Aktiesparekonto. It's not complicated. You don't need to have any specific amount of money. You don't need to have any funds in anything. So literally, you just go to your bank and open one. So in this case, what you should be aware of, just one thing, is that it has to be a Danish bank. It has to be a Danish investment broker. You can't open an Aktiesparekonto in a foreign bank, like a Revolut or a TransferWise and so on. It has to be in Denmark. And specifically in Denmark, yes, you can open in Nordea, you can open in Danske Bank, but the best deals, for example, are in the specialized investment brokers, say Saxo. In Saxo, for example, you have lower fees for buying and selling stocks, and if that's your thing, and if you want to be a bit more active, you'll send up money in the long run by just moving your Aktiesparekonto to one of these investment brokers. One thing to note as well though, if you use Nordnet for your investment as I do, Nordnet, as of the day I'm recording this video, does not have the opportunity or doesn't offer the opportunity to open Aktiesparekonto yet. They said that they would do so at the second half of 2021. In the meantime, if you want to get the best deal for Aktiesparekonto, you need to go in Saxo them. Number 5, what is my take on Aktiesparekonto? So first I'll tell you what I'm doing myself, and then I'll tell you my recommendations for you, depending on your maturity as an investor. So myself, I'm gonna be opening an Aktiesparekonto. I'm just waiting for Nordnet to open the Aktiesparekonto as an opportunity because I just don't like to have my money all spread out. I already use Revolut, I already use Nordnet. If I would then use Saxo or Nordea Invest, it would be just too much money in 2 different locations. Just not my cup of tea. I'd rather wait the next few months. It's not going to take too long, hopefully. And then I can open an Activa Spark konto in Nordnet. And once I do it in Nordnet, I'll just max it out. So if it's 100,000 that we can put in, I'll put 100,000. If it's 200,000, I'll just put 200,000 when I get there. And yeah, I'll max it out. I think at the end of the day, like if you look at the numbers, it just makes sense. And I'll just put all the money in there and let's go. My recommendations to you as an investor is that if you're just starting out, if you're new into investing, use the Activa Spark konto as your starting point. At the end of the day, like you're going to be further ahead on this, and it's just easy. The whole idea of this program is to help new investors. So if it's not so helpful yet, I'm believing that the government and the finance ministry and so on will just make it easier in a way for people to even be more motivated to start investing. So for sure I would do that. And if you're a more mature investor, I would say, yeah, I mean, you should open it anyway, because at the end of the day, you'll be better off money-wise. If you just put the numbers in a spreadsheet, you'll see that you'll be better off. And then you can just be more strategic on what you use this account for. So for example, myself as a more mature investor, I would just imagine that I'll use my passive investing mostly on my normal investment account. So those that they kind of set it and forget it. And when I do more of quick buy and sell of stocks, I would just do it in the Activa Spark konto instead of, for example, doing it in Revolut as I do now. If you want to learn more about investing in Denmark and all the specific rules and regulations, and how I invest myself, my specific allocation, I made a video with all that and more in here. You should go and check that out. With that, thank you for being here and all the best.